Have you ever wondered if what you see in the mirror is really who you are? Every day, we identify with our faces, our bodies, our emotions. But what if all of this was just a facade, a superficial layer of something much greater and deeper? What lies beyond this skin, beyond these thoughts you call me? Throughout life, we are taught to believe that the body defines who we are. The physical form, the feelings we experience, and even the thoughts we have become our identity. But this perception is limited. It keeps our consciousness tied to something temporary when we are actually much more than we can see or touch. The body, as real as it may seem, is just a vehicle, a tool that we use during a short journey. And the true you, the one who observes, who feels, who knows, is something that never ages, never fades. This you, which some call the soul, is the immortal essence that transcends time and space. But what would happen if, for a moment, you stopped identifying with this physical body? What would remain? Imagine that the body you use is like clothing, something you put on at birth and will inevitably take off one day. You are not the clothing you wear, just as you are not the body you inhabit. When you start questioning this reality, you open up space to realize that the life you experience is only a fraction of who you truly are. The body is temporary, limited by the laws of time and space, but you are not. You, the true you, are the consciousness behind it all. And this, if deeply understood, has the power to change your life in an irreversible way. So today, we will explore a profound concept, the idea that you are not what you seem to be. Far beyond the body and the mind we know, there is an immortal, multidimensional essence that has been the center of our true existence since the beginning. Today will be a slightly different journey, so I hope you can open your mind and heart to what we're going to talk about in this video, and then, if you feel comfortable, let me know in the comments what you think about it. So, let's unravel what it really means to be a soul, how this understanding can transform your life, and how the body, mind, and reality you live in are just part of a much deeper and eternal experience. As we live our daily lives, it's easy to get lost in the illusion that we are only our bodies. Every sensation, every pain, every emotion felt seems to say, "This is who I am." However, when we look more closely, we begin to see that the body, despite being tangible and familiar, is just a tool, a temporary vehicle the soul uses to interact with the physical world. Just like a traveler needs a ship to cross the ocean, the soul uses the body to navigate earthly existence. But why do we tend to identify so strongly with this temporary vehicle? From birth, we are taught to connect with the body as if it were our only reality. We feel hunger, cold, pain, and pleasure. And all of this reinforces the idea that we are only this matter we see in the mirror. Emotions, thoughts, and physical sensations shape the perception of who we believe we are. The body is the interface we use to experience the world, but it is just that, an interface. On the spiritual journey, understanding that the body is temporary is essential to transcend the limited identification with it. It is an instrument designed to experience life on the material plane, offering the soul the opportunity to grow and evolve. But when someone clings exclusively to the identity of the body, they lose the opportunity to connect with their true essence. Identifying with the body, thoughts and emotions obscures the vision of the soul, keeping us trapped in a limited view of ourselves. Think of the body as clothing that you wear and change throughout many lifetimes. It allows you to live and experience the physical, but just like clothes, it ages, wears out, and eventually must be left behind. Every time the soul incarnates in a new body, it is a chance to learn. However, the soul does not change. It is immutable and eternal, while the body is temporary, a tool for one phase of existence. We cling to the body and mind because they are tangible. and the rational mind seeks comfort in what it can see, touch, and understand. Thoughts, emotions, and sensations intertwine, creating a series of experiences that seem very convincing. I am sad. I am angry. I am happy. These statements come from identifying with the body and its reactions. But what is this sadness or anger, if not a temporary state of a temporary vehicle? Just as the body is an instrument, emotions and thoughts are like passengers aboard this vehicle. They come and go, but the consciousness that observes them remains unchanged. The challenge in our journey is recognizing that this identification with the body can limit us. When we believe that we are only this physical body, we limit our perception of reality. We cannot see beyond the senses, and consequently, we become trapped in a purely material existence. This hinders the perception of who we truly are, eternal beings having a temporary experience. Understanding that the body is just a vehicle completely changes the way we live. Instead of getting lost in concerns about physical appearance, the limitations and the challenges of the body, we start seeing life as an opportunity for the soul to grow and expand. The body then becomes a tool that we use to experience the physical world, but with the wisdom that it is not the end of everything. It is a means to something much greater. And as we move forward in our journey, we realize that the true self is not what we feel through our senses, but something much deeper, silently observing the changes and experiences that the body provides us. Once we start detaching from the idea that we are only our bodies, an inevitable question arises. If I am not the body, who am I? The answer lies in the essence of your true nature. You are the soul. And this soul is pure consciousness and eternal presence that knows no limits. In other words, while the body is temporary, the soul is infinite. The soul, in its purest form, is a field of consciousness without form, age, or restrictions. It simply is. Since ancient times, spiritual traditions around the world have spoken of this idea. In ancient Egypt, for example, it was believed that the soul, or Ka, was the vital principle that transcended physical death, continuing its journey in the afterlife. In Hinduism, the concept of Atman defines the soul as the true self, an eternal essence that is beyond matter and mind, directly connected to the universe. The Atman is like a drop of water in the immense ocean of existence. It is a part of the whole, but it also contains the whole within itself. Similarly, Buddhism speaks of the state of enlightenment, where the ego dissolves and pure consciousness is experienced without the limitations of the mind and body. These traditions, like many others, remind us that the soul is beyond any concept of time or space. When we talk about pure consciousness, we are referring to that part of you that is always present but which we rarely notice amidst the whirlwind of thoughts, emotions, and sensory stimuli. Think about it. Have you ever had the experience of observing your own thoughts? Or found yourself reflecting on an emotion you're feeling? That you that observes is pure consciousness. It is the one that is aware of every thought, every emotion, and all the changes in your physical body, but it doesn't identify with any of them. It is unchanging, even as the body, mind, and world around you constantly change. It is essential to recognize ourselves as this soul, this pure consciousness, to expand our perception of what it truly means to live. Because while we see ourselves only as a body, our experience is limited by mortality, fear, and the struggles of the material world. But when we recognize ourselves as a soul, we begin to experience the freedom of being something unlimited. The barriers of time and space no longer exist when you realize that the essence of who you are cannot be confined. No matter how many years pass, how many lives you live, the soul remains intact, unchanging, and eternal. This shift in perception transforms life from the inside out. When you start to see yourself as pure consciousness, What was once seen as a problem becomes a temporary experience. Worldly concerns lose their weight because, suddenly, you understand that they are part of a temporary experience that your soul has chosen to go through. For the soul is here to observe, to experience, but it is not bound by any of it. And by identifying with this limitless nature, you open doors to new ways of living based on inner peace, clarity, and the understanding that you are much more than what you see in the mirror. This recognition that you are a soul, not a body, is the first step to true liberation. For when you realize that you are no longer confined by the limitations of the body, the mind, or circumstances, you begin to live from a state of expanded consciousness where anything is possible because you are operating from your true nature, unlimited, immortal, and eternal. What we call life and death are only temporary states. The soul is neither born nor dies. It just moves between different forms of existence. This understanding brings us deep peace, knowing that our essence will never disappear, will never be destroyed. It will only change form. When we understand that the soul is immortal, a natural question arises. If the soul is eternal, what does it do between these transitions of bodies, between one life and another? The answer takes us to the ancient and profound idea of reincarnation. Reincarnation reveals a broader understanding of the soul's journey, showing that the life we live now is just one chapter of a much larger narrative that extends beyond what we can see or remember. Reincarnation is not merely the repeated cycle of birth and death. Many believe that it is, in fact, the vehicle through which the soul evolves and transforms. With each new life, the soul gains new experiences, faces unique challenges, and has the opportunity to learn deep lessons. In every incarnation, the soul encounters situations that help it grow, expand its wisdom, and draw closer to a deeper understanding of reality. But why does the soul need to go through so many lives? Well, I believe the answer to this question lies in the challenges that each incarnation brings. Physical life offers fertile ground for spiritual growth because it is full of contrasts, joy and sadness, light and darkness, success and failure. These contrasts are exactly what drive the soul's evolution. Just as a muscle needs resistance to grow stronger, the soul needs the challenges of physical life to expand its wisdom, develop compassion, and strengthen its essence. In one life, a soul may be learning about patience, in another, about forgiveness, and in some lives, it may simply be experiencing the beauty of being, experiencing the fullness of inner peace. Everything that happens in a life, from the moments of greatest joy to the moments of greatest suffering, has a purpose in the soul's evolution. Every encounter, every experience serves as an opportunity to grow and become wiser. And often the most painful challenges are the ones that bring the biggest leaps in consciousness. This journey of growth is an upward spiral. When the soul incarnates, it carries with it the wisdom gained from past lives. Although the physical memories of these previous lives may not be accessible to the conscious mind, the essence of what was learned remains deeply imprinted in the spirit. On a subconscious level, this wisdom influences the decisions, inclinations, and reactions we have in our current life. In this way, past experiences shape the way we live and learn in the present. Spiritual traditions around the world teach us about this cycle of reincarnation and its role in spiritual growth. Hinduism, for example, speaks of samsara, the continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, which only ends when the soul reaches enlightenment. In Buddhism, this concept is similar, but it emphasizes the role of karma, the actions and intentions that shape future incarnations. Other traditions suggest that each reincarnation is an opportunity for atonement and growth, where souls return to correct past mistakes and acquire virtues they still lack. These traditions agree on one fundamental point. The life we are living now is neither our first nor our last. The soul keeps returning, life after life, until it reaches a state of full spiritual realization. Each incarnation is a new chapter in this endless journey, and in each life, new challenges arise, offering the soul the opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. What's interesting is that although each life is different, the thread that connects them all is spiritual learning. Our lives are not random. They are carefully orchestrated by the soul, which chooses the circumstances and challenges it will face based on the lessons it needs to learn. Before being born, the soul knows what experiences await it, and although the challenges often seem unbearable while we are incarnated, they were chosen to help us evolve toward deeper wisdom. This cycle of successive lives is not something to fear but to embrace. When we understand that each life is an opportunity for growth, we begin to see challenges in a different light. Life's difficulties become lighter when we realize they are part of a much bigger journey, a journey of the soul's evolution, where every obstacle strengthens us, every loss teaches us, and every victory brings us closer to spiritual fulfillment. And as this evolution occurs, the soul becomes more aware of its true, limitless nature and its place in the universe. There is deep wisdom in recognizing that challenges are not obstacles on the spiritual path, but rather the path itself. When you face a loss, a failure, or an illness, the initial reaction may be pain or resistance. But when you see these moments from the perspective of spiritual evolution, you begin to realize that behind the pain, there is an invitation for deeper growth. The soul is being called to expand, to develop patience, compassion, resilience, qualities that can only be truly cultivated in the field of adversity. Think about your most difficult moments. How many times, after going through chaos, have you emerged stronger, wiser, and with a clearer vision of life? These moments force us to go beyond the surface, beyond the automatic responses of the body and mind, and dive into the depths of our soul, where we find true strength. Life is a continuous cycle, alternating between ups and downs. You can't escape this natural cycle, but you can learn to navigate it wisely. And as we learn to face challenges with this perspective, the soul expands and grows. Challenges cease to be seen as enemies and become allies in the process of spiritual awakening. Another important point is that challenges not only strengthen the soul, but also increase our connection to the universal vital energy. This energy, present in all creation, is what nourishes and sustains the soul throughout its journey. When we face difficult moments, the intensity of the experience can open doors for us to connect more deeply with this vital force. It's as if the challenges break down the barriers that separate us from this energy, allowing it to flow freely through us. Taoism, for example, teaches us that the balance between yin and yang, the opposing forces of life, is what generates harmony and growth. Without moments of darkness, light could not be appreciated. Similarly, without challenges, the vital force that drives our soul would not have the chance to expand. So, this is necessary for progress. And when we accept that challenges are part of our path, we become more aware of our own evolution. With each obstacle overcome, the soul not only gains more strength but also more clarity about its purpose. Suffering teaches us empathy, loss teaches us detachment, and uncertainty teaches us trust. These are lessons that only challenges can provide, and they are what bring us closer and closer to the truth of who we are. So, instead of fearing difficulties, try embracing them as an essential part of your journey, knowing that by overcoming each challenge, you are strengthening your connection with your soul and the universe. The soul operates in multiple dimensions of reality. Unlike the body, which is confined to space and time, the soul transcends these barriers, simultaneously inhabiting the physical plane and spiritual realms. This multidimensional nature of the soul means that while we live our daily lives, parts of our essence may be connected to realities beyond what our physical senses can perceive. These concepts indicate that our experience on Earth is only a fraction of who we truly are. This multidimensional complexity of the soul also means that our physical existence is just a reflection of something much greater. Our consciousness extends to other levels, allowing us to be part of a spiritual reality that shapes and influences our being. This kind of knowledge, when understood, allows us to access a deeper perspective of who we are and what is possible in our journey of self-discovery. Knowing that we are multidimensional souls is only the beginning. The real challenge is living daily with this awareness. When we start seeing ourselves as immortal souls, not just transient bodies, our perception of life changes drastically. On this journey, spiritual practices like meditation and mindfulness become essential because they help us connect with our true essence, calming the mind and silencing the body's distractions. And so, life in the present transforms into a field of possibilities. Each moment of life takes on new meaning. And with this, we begin to realize that true power lies in our ability to observe, choose, and act from the stillness of the soul, not from the turbulence of the body. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message. And don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks again for watching and for joining me. Take care and see you soon.